Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. We got the whole squad, AJ, Megan, Eric, and Rudo, coming to you live. I mean, the Avs are not the big draw tonight. That's the Nuggets season opener, let's be honest about that. But the Avs are on their first East Coast road trip of the season. Kind of a big swing out there. They're starting with the New York Islanders tonight. How do you guys match these teams up, first of all? Sorokin has the edge on Georgiev, I imagine.
Yep.
Defenses, New York's not a pushover defense, but you're giving that to the Avs because of the top guys, right?
Yep.
And then forwards has got to be the Avs too, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Just check.
Yeah, by a lot.
If Scott Mayfield was playing, it might come close.
Oh, that's right. DU connection.
Get out of here.
Overpaid.
But I'll take right now.
I don't know about overpaid, but 7 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Hey, but I'll take Georgiev this year so far. Wow.
He's been really good so far.
Wow.
Hopefully he can have a good one tonight because I always expect Sorokin to have a good one. We'll put it to you that way.
I love him too, yeah.
He's pretty good at what he does. Avs coming into this one, I tweeted it out the other day. Every single forward has a point on this team now through 5 games.
The only guy who's made an appearance for the Avs and has not recorded a point was Curtis McDermott on opening night.
He played 3 minutes, so understandable.
Yeah. Otherwise, everybody's got at least one, and you've had a couple taken. You've had the one taken away.
Yep. So pretty. I don't want to say even because you have guys at the top like Mikko and Mac that have like 8 points, but still, you're getting production from everywhere, even if you would like a little bit more from certain parts of the lineup.
I think 10 guys have at least 3 points.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Lucky had a 4-point night the other night. So
yeah.
It's
crazy,
a
man.
lot of production there. Megan, I want to get your thoughts on this forward core. We've seen a little bit of mixing and matching. Tatar's moved up to the top line. You've seen Druin with that third line. Do you like these looks, or do you want to see them continue to tinker?
No, I like the looks because it's probably going to be something true of this team down the line in a deep playoff run. If there are any injuries, they're going to need to be pretty versatile, and some of these adjustments might come in-game. So getting them reps with a variety of line mates, I think, is only going to strengthen them as a group, and especially if they can do these things well with different line mates. Like, I think splitting up Rantanen and McKinnon the last game, it's obvious these are two players that are also very individually good and typically play very well together. Let's see what they can do separate from one another. And it had immediate success. And
Lucky sure liked it, yeah.
Exactly. I think we're going to see it again tonight, this separation. And it's a strength of the team rather than a demerit of McKinnon and Rantanen not necessarily creating so much in that one particular game. I think it's good for them to get looks with other players. Their career year for each of them last year, they played a lot of those goals came separate from one another. And so I just think looking at the whole of the lineup, it is important for them to mix and match a little bit along the way.
On the flip side, it's also good because if things aren't working, you put them back together because you know that works, right?
Exactly,
So it's a nice
fallback plan.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I think they go in there always with options, and I think as a coach they would tell you, when you have options, it's a nice thing to have.
Well, our option is to go to you for your 3 keys of the night. We're doing it live this time, Eric. Take it away.
Let's do it. Tonight, big game there in New York Islanders, right? Let's go to number 1, Road Warriors. What do I mean by that? Make smart decisions. Play a smart road game with the puck. You want puck possession. You hear Bednar talk about it all the time. Make direct plays. North-south game. Very simple. Hunt the puck. Get everyone involved early. What do I mean by that? All 4 lines. You had a day off after the last win. Then they had a practice, hopped on the bird, went to New York. Get everybody involved today. Get all 4 lines, all 6 Ds. You want to get a bump, get bumped. You want to get into the game early in the game. Number 2, we always talk about it, deactivation. Let's make sure that the fellas back there jump up in the play. They create space between the 2 blue lines. Islanders try to play kind of a tight-knit game. I don't expect this to be a very, again, I might be wrong, but high-scoring affair. Hopefully this stays low for a couple bets here amongst the crew. Speed, speed, speed. Let's use your speed between the blue lines. Let's activate those Ds and create a lot of scoring chances. Number 3, we talked about it the other day on the post-game show. We were talking about creating down low. I love the fact that the Avs can get some chances off the rush, but I'm a believer. I'm a digger. I'm a fourth line guy. I like it when it's done down below the goal line. What does that mean? It means that make the Ds from the other team turn their feet, play with their feet facing the back of the net, not the opposite. It's so easy for Ds to defend when their toes are pointing at the play. As soon as you have to make them turn around, now they got to make decisions. You protect the puck down low. You create a lot. The Avs have a lot of guys that can create chances that way. Let's see if they can make it pay tonight.
All right.
Say they like my point.
Nuggets fans think you're the best.
Thank you.
Confirmed.
Appreciate that.
I do want to talk about that last point and the second point a little bit, because you're talking about those deactivating the Avs playing their game versus the Isles, who are pretty well-known quantity on how they like to play very slow, sludgy hockey. Which way does this game go? Can the Avs impose their will on this game a little bit more, or is this one that they're, like a few of the ones they've had this year, going to have to play the Islanders' way and beat them at their own game?
I mean, it's always great when you can play your game and you can dictate pace and you can impose your will and all those things. But one thing we talked about with the team 2 years ago, the team that we've seen through 5 games, obviously it's just 5, but
Yep.
This Avalanche team just looks comfortable in whatever environment they're in.
Yep.
So, and last year's team never looked like that. They did not look like they could win games in a lot of ways. And this Avalanche team can. So I don't know that it's really all that important for them to. It's not.
Fit a
It's not
certain
like.
mold, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they need. They absolutely need to. Like, it is a prerequisite to play their style in order to win. That's true for the Islanders more than it is for the Avalanche.
Sure. I agree.
And the Islanders just want to turn every hockey game into a rock throwing contest. And if that's what it gets into,
See how it plays out.
the Avs can do that. They haven't had to do it. Obviously, they haven't had to do much of anything yet. It's 5 games, but how they handle that kind of environment will be very interesting and indicative of just how well prepared this hockey team is for a deep postseason run. The Islanders are great in that way. They are wonderful prep for the playoffs. It is the 6th game of the regular season, so that's not what this is.
Yeah.
This is just 2 points. They have to throw a couple of rocks along the way. It's fine. They can.
I did want to talk about this first portion of the season for the East Coast, particularly the Metro Division. That division started a little bit upside down. You have Philly at the top. You have Columbus near the top of that division right now. Carolina and the Islanders somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Then you have teams like New Jersey and Pittsburgh at the bottom. Avs are about to play a handful of these teams. They're also playing Buffalo in the Atlantic, which is at the bottom of their division too. Are these teams that the Avs can take advantage of early in the season if they maybe haven't gotten off to the hottest start? Or are these a bunch of teams that you need to be wary of trying to get back on track?
I think they have to continue to respect the competition. This was true of a depleted Carolina team that is still a tough competitor in the East, even missing some of their key players dealing with goaltending injuries. And it's true of the Islanders tonight because their matchups against a good New Jersey team have not been good for them. And that's a real true test then of where they rank in the East, and they're looking then at one of the best competitors in the West in the Colorado Avalanche coming out the gate hot. If I'm New York right now, I'm looking inwards and viewing the Colorado Avalanche as a true test of where I'm at for the season ahead, and this is a game to get things right. I know that was true of Carolina, and it was just hard for them to climb back into that one after the Avs imposed their will, kind of like we've been talking about. The Avs have demonstrated that they can win a number of different ways, even if they don't necessarily have the best first period. They can make a power play goal produce in a matter of seconds at the end of the first and the second. It's really impressive what they've done so far. No doubt then, New York Islanders, still a good team, well constructed going into this year, is going to want to use Colorado as a springboard.
Yeah, and I agree. And I was just going to say a measuring stick because we talked about it last game. All the teams coming in or that the Avs are visiting, they want to see how they measure up against them. And, people have picked them as Stanley Cup champs or this year or finalists or whatever you want to call it. But as a coaching staff, if you're the Islanders, they've had a decent start. They haven't played that many games, but what are they, 2-1-1, right? So it's not that bad. But if you're Coach Lambert and you feel that your team hasn't really hit their strides, well, tonight's a real test. Because this Avalanche squad is a good squad, as we can see. And if the Avalanche are rolling and flying on all cylinders, it's a tough test for any opponent. So now if you're Lambert, if you feel your team is not going full throttle, it's not found their games, you're shaking your boots a little bit right now as warm-up is almost close and the game's starting very soon.
As an added to the measuring stick kind of game, the Avs are undefeated. The longer that goes on, the more up teams are going to get to be the first one to take that away from them.
Look, you hit 5 games, not a big deal, but it starts to become a thing at 5, right?
There's records they're chasing tonight. Georgiev can be
road.
the franchise lead for the start out the gate
Yep.
with 6 wins consecutively. And a road team record can become the new league-wide record if
Yep.
they continue. They'll get their 15th road win starting last March. So
That's a lot.
I don't know if that means a lot to the Avs as a team, but I bet to Georgiev that could be a significant goaltending record that the team would like to help him unlock.
And who would he beat, Georgiev?
Stephane Fiset.
Oh, we got traded for one another. Great guy.
The more you know. One other thing I wanted to touch on here, talking about records, Logan O'Connor going for 4 straight shorthanded goals.
Megan didn't want to bring it up. Do your thing.
God, you're obsessed, Rudo. It's getting weird.
Look at what shirt I'm wearing. Like, come on. New York's power play not been super good. Only like 9% to start the season, which is like 1 goal on 12 chances or whatever it is.
It's that bad, too.
Yeah.
It was that bad last year. It's that bad.
So
Do not be the team that gives up multiple power play goals for the New York Islanders. It is a bad power play.
are we willing to accept Bo taking 2 more penalties to give LOC the chance to get the shorties?
I mean,
Both
you're probably going
ones,
to take 4 penalties along the way. Might as well just stick with what's worked so far.
Bo's going 0. LOC's going breakaway, but I'm not sure if he scores. I'm
Uh-oh.
not sure yet. We'll see.
Little bit of lacking confidence there from Eric.
I just don't want him to go to his backhand. I want him to
It worked
snipe
last
it.
time.
It worked last
It worked
game.
last
It
time.
worked.
It got through
I want him to go top glove.
It worked.
Puck teleported, but yeah. It should count as a shorthanded goal if he scores an empty netter in a 5-on-6.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Technically shorthanded.
Exactly.
That's
Could
when
happen.
you get down to that time and you're like, all right, Bo, go hack somebody.
All right, Bo. Release
On a
Bo.
4-2 game, you know.
Well, no icing, so all you have to do is just have McCarr flip it up out of the zone and have LOC skate
Chase
under
it
it.
down.
See, we're problem solving here.
Let's make you some money while we problem solve with Bet365's Never Ordinary Bets. Look, I'm sticking with this Ryjo over on the power play until it
not?
stops working at plus 265. Come on. You got to ride that lightning a little bit. That's good money for a guy who started to pick it up on the power play. I took the 3-way Avs to win in regulation by more than 1. I took the 3-way because it's a push if they do the 1-goal win, so you get your money back. And it's still plus 180 if they do get that empty netter. And then I took under 2 goals in the first period for positive money as well.
That 1-0.
I think we're all kind of expecting a lower scoring game against the Isles.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like the 1-0 in
Ilya
the first.
Sorokin is
Good
no
goaltending.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going with a little bit of the underside of this game as well. Should be a fun one either way. Last thing I kind of wanted to touch on here, and then we can go watch this hockey game. Between the Avs and the Isles, is there any... I know it's early in the season, so take this with a grain of salt, but Isles a team that has always built a fairly good decor, especially when you're looking at potential depth defensemen. Is there any, file this away for the trade deadline looks?
Not really.
Too early?
Yeah, not really. Most of those guys are guys on deals
Sure.
or are core pieces for them. So
Sure.
I would say at the moment, no.
All right.
Scott Mayfield last year was the best bet.
If he wasn't on a 7-year deal right now.
Well, and then he goes into free agency.
I
And,
was banging that drum at the time.
yeah.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to add? No? Yes? Maybe?
Go Isles.
Do you guys think Schooneman plays
No.
in this road trip?
Not
I just
unless
want to
someone
throw
gets
it
hurt.
to the crew.
I honestly, the way I saw that call up was they want a guy to sit in the press box and not actually play while Caleb Jones gets more games in the system.
That's genuinely what I felt too. I think I talked to Caleb Jones this last weekend, and I think just based on what he talked about and the conversations he's had with the front office that we are due to see Caleb Jones in an Avs uniform someday really soon,
Yeah.
but he's going to be really observable. Like, he's going to actually be utilized and not just sitting in a press box.
I mean, if you look at it back then, going on a trip in the East, we had the Cleveland, right, Lake Erie Monsters, which was an easy flight. Now that the Eagles are here, you have someone like today that has the flu in the afternoon, you're screwed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're, you know what I mean? You can't call them up. You're going up against the clock, right? The 2 hours, and so I think that's smart. They're going for the week. You know, like I think he sits. I think he's just there, and it's awesome. Good for him. He makes NHL money, and and then gets experience. And hey, listen, the NHL is a wonderful league, and every minute you spend in there is awesome. So whether he plays or not, he's still gaining experience. He's gaining. What if he's needed down the stretch? Then he gets to know the coaching staff a little more, gets to know the players more, the trainers. It makes a big difference.
There you go. All right, we're about 5 minutes from puck drop, so we're going to wrap this thing up. No watch along today because Nuggets obviously should be watching that while you're at intermissions in the Avs game. But we will be live for post-game, bringing down whatever happens in this hockey game. We hope to see you there, and we will talk to you later.
We all silly like the mayor.